Hello, this is Jer. This is the Nightmare series of Oxygen Not Included. I'm on the radioactive ocean asteroid that is metal poor and has a frozen core. Absolutely terrible place to be. As if it wasn't bad enough, all the game settings are on the maximum hardness, and we don't have teleportation or care packages. Enjoy! Welcome back! Just about to hit cycle 700. Today we're going to be working on a water processing facility. I have an old one, or a current one I should say at the moment, up here with a few of these water sieves and desalinators, but we're going to take all this equipment plus the storage and bring that towards the bottom of the base. Starting off, creating some tiles across here and cleaning up some of this old stuff that we had laying around from before. Putting in 3 desalinators. That is for this guy here. So this guy produces cool liquid, but it's also in the form of brine, so it needs to be treated with this. While this guy doesn't have to be, the water doesn't have to be treated, it's just ready to go, but it's very hot. At the same time, this is actually too cold to actually send into these guys. So what we want to do is have some sort of mixing of the temperature before we go into these guys. But I also want to have an infinite store. I've got an old infinite store up here, so I want to double this. I want to be able to actually have 2 liquid pumps inside of it. One that's primarily going to feed the base, and one that will feed a rocket whenever that needs to be charged. And I'm thinking, why not just put this, let's see, we'll make that right here. We'll have 2 drop-off spots. Liquid, technically, I don't need corners. I guess technically I don't even need that either. We're going to be insulating all around this guy, because this is going to potentially be storing very hot liquid. Let's just put in some insulation around this guy. I should probably not close this area off yet until construction is fully complete. Get rid of what is sitting inside here. So the idea is I'll have one spot to be able to drop off water that's been treated from here, and then this guy will have another pump. I'm thinking literally just beside this. Now this is going to get very hot over time. Currently the overall temperature here is 30 so degrees, but that's largely due, I'm thinking, because the ice that's been slowly melting. So we're going to have to handle future situations where this gets hotter and hotter. So anything I build a pump, like a pump in here, we'll make that out of gold amalgam. So we're going to have 2 pumps for that. Now these 2 pumps will have to have conductive wire going in. So we'll need transformers somewhere. So these guys definitely want to be part of the heavy wire line. Just go up like this for now. And we're going to have 2 drop-off spots. This is the cooling line. It's a little bit in the way, so what I'm going to do is just have it reroute it to go right through here instead. As these airflow tiles are being created, we're actually making vacuums, and that has me thinking, I don't even need to insulate here, actually, if I've got perfect vacuum around. Now up here we've got carbon dioxide, but I could pump that out. That is something to think about. What about we create a connection here and do a disconnection here. I assume I have this thing going in No, it's not clockwise order. That's right, because I want to visit this last. So this is going to be going down. And this here, this is going to be going up. Cut this right here. I'll have this go like that. So now we've got liquid going in around this way. And it's flowing again. Just need to make sure it gets out of here. Let's take this out. There we are. We want to open this up so that dupes don't have to go all the way down here just to get into this zone. And rovers too. Now for the fun part. So I'm going to pause it while I do this because there's going to be a little bit of planning to try to get through all this. But so this is going to be my starting point. So we've got water going out of this geyser. It's going to make its way down here. First of all, why don't we put in some logic to only let this run when the pressure is, or when there's actually enough water there. So we'll start off with that. Okay. Then we've got water being taken essentially from this geyser. And in priority order, we're going to go up. And visit this pump and then out. And this is going to be our main water line for our base. Now, if this becomes backed up, then the excess water will be dropped off over here and ultimately make its way towards this pump and then out. So that is the first piece. That's pretty simple. That's just our normal water system. But there's more to it than that. We also have this guy over here, which is a little bit more problematic. The only thing that's nice is it's much cooler liquid, but it's actually too cool to run for this through these machines. So my thinking is this: before we can't just directly hook this up to these guys because that could break these machines, or the pipes anyways, when it's outputting water that's frozen in pipes. But because this guy is going to be dumping really warm liquid in here, we might as well go through some radiant pipes before we visit these machines. So my thinking is, let's connect all these together. And this could actually be pretty hot when we go out. So how about we insulate those pipes? So visiting 1, 2, and 3 desalinators. But before we go into that, let's make a little circuit here of liquid going around. And then making its way into this for processing. Okay. And I want to do some sort of logic check to make sure it's actually warm enough. It probably will be all the time, but just to be safe. Let's put in this right there. So we're going to be checking the temperature. And if the temperature is fine, we'll go and enable all these guys. Maybe just to be safe, we'll even put it through a filter. Have that make sure it's warm enough for a certain amount of time. That's the buffer. We want the filter. There we go. Okay. So now, if I can get this liquid into here, it will make its way in a circle over and over again until this is able to accept anything. I just need to do a simple connection from here. So we'll go down. I've got to plan this a little bit because these guys are all going to be sending out some warm water. So we're going to insulate that. This here technically won't be there in the future, so I'll connect this after. This is all going to join up at this point. Then we're going to go left. Down. So we've got a clean water line. I want to get over here. Actually, I think we have to take that away. What we're going to do is have this go in at priority and out. So this is going to be my second water line. So I could use this to feed just the rocket itself if I want it to, for instance. Okay. So continuing on with this, I'm going to bring this down. So this is going to be the excess. If these guys output some water and it can't go into this direction or be consumed, we'll want to take it into here for storage to be pumped out later. Alright, so we've got 2 more pipes to deal with. I've got to have this sitting like that so that it adds brine in such a way that it's not going to overflow this. Okay. So we'll have this. This is going to be cooler liquid, so I don't really care if that's insulated so much. And then I think that just leaves this guy here. Now this can simply get down to here. I think we may have it. I don't need to connect this with anything just yet, but in the future, this could be dedicated line to feeding my rocket. Oh my goodness. All right. There was a lot to that. While I do that, I'll think about how I want to connect the power and and some of the logic. I'm not sure if I need... Well, actually, one thing I will want, if I can get it in here, should be easy enough. A hydro sensor. I don't want that connected to that line, actually. So maybe we'll actually reroute this a little bit. But the idea is, if this ever got low, hopefully it never will. I don't think it ever will. But if it ever did, I certainly want to know about it. So I'm going to hook this up. And we could, I could deal. Actually, no. Let's have that. Actually, well, we'll hook that up later, probably to a notification system. Anything else? I'm not sure that I'll want this, but it's easier to build it now than later. So I'm just going to put a temperature checking device in there, and if I ever want to know the temperature or be alerted on the temperature change, I can. I think that's about it for that perspective. Now we have to think about the power. So I'll let a little bit of construction be done, and then we'll put in some of the plans for power. This is what I'm thinking for power. First of all, let's get these 2 tiles. Granted, we'll get a transformer in here, because we've got to visit these guys, but I certainly can't do heavy watt wire, at least for those 2. We've got to have a conductive wire go through this. So just do this. Not sure it needs to be steel, but I'll do that anyway. From this point on, though, we need, I think a single transformer is going to be fine for this line, since there's just going to be 2 pumps. I'll have that sitting right here. And then we'll connect this over to there. Now, if I actually make this a vacuum area, then in theory, actually before I do that, might want to have, yeah, change that tile there to a joint plate. But I'm going to feed this guy heavy watt wire line. So we'll go down like this. As long as this is a vacuum underneath, I think we'll be okay. We're not leaking heat up anyway. So that's going to visit this pump. And then we're going to have a bridge getting across here to feed the 2 inner pumps. This side, I'm thinking of not covering this up or closing it off, at least for the time being. If it gets a little problematic, maybe we'll do that at some point, but I do want to have a bottom to it. Kind of like this. The other thing... Let's see. I could actually start to create the... Whoa, what's this? Liquid phosphorus. No kidding. Okay, interesting. Let's get that out of there. But I'm thinking I could start to create the vacuum now because we have a liquid airlock kind of sitting here already. Just need to make sure that I've got a space that's big enough to build a pump. I need to come out one further. Build a wall right along here. Well, scientist, you are stuck. Let's put a ladder right there, make that a high priority thing. So now let's install a wall like this. If I can get that created and see that wall is already there, then we can start to create the vacuum inside this area. Just push gas right outside. That's already set up to go part of the heavy wire line. Excellent. Won't connect this just yet. And we've got another stuck tube there. Let's put some ladders right there. You can start to seal this off. So we'll complete this little section there. And also put the bottom to that together. I do need to bring in some liquid. Maybe we'll find some brine. Under 1,000 kilograms shouldn't be too difficult. Before this area is completely sealed off, let's sweep everything out of this zone. Let's go find out what is sitting over here. So we'll be there in one cycle. Scrubber, one of the newer dupes on base, building this high pressure gas vent. It's going to allow us to start to create this vacuum in this area. Should have maybe made this out of gold amalgam, but as long as it can create a vacuum before this hot water can touch it, I think we'll be okay. Put in some airflow tiles. One is going to go there, and we just need two there and there. Make a priority of building stuff that's inside this zone so we can eventually seal it up. So I've got a couple 100 grams worth it. I can have up to 1,000 kilograms, so I'm thinking let's get more than just that. 360. Up here and then open that up. Of course, I don't want to do that until this tile is created, but just do that just in case. I am getting nervous watching this guy get warmer and warmer. Gas pump 30. No, it's carbon dioxide. Well, I don't know. I'm just wondering if I should switch that out for with that gold amalgam, or will we get that vacuum ultimately? We'll see. Thinking it might make sense to make another pump over here. Give this a little bit. And then I'll decide. Rover is making this tile there. Awesome. So we've got a vacuum sitting right there. So I can try opening up this guy. 380 there. Brine. Let's We'll open up the a little bit. We get there as well. And I think we're just about ready to seal this off. I see some wiring here we're waiting for, though. With this little... Oh, that's a thermosensor. Whoops. Okay, actually, I was going to say that what I wanted to do is have another one over here. Just that these pumps don't run unless there's actually enough water to fully take in a full amount in a pipe. Okay, so it's a hydro sensor that we're going to want. This is already pumping, and is there going to be any problem with that? Technically, no. Oh, we don't have any directionality here. Does that... that might actually matter. Right. Well, before we seal this off, maybe we should kind of force a directionality. It means I am going to lose one of the pipes, though. Do this. Make it go... Actually, hold on. Make it go clockwise. If I've got an option, I should always go clockwise, just to keep a standard. Go. Alright, so back over here. We're looking for a hydro sensor this time. Connect that to there. And bring in hydro sensor down there. Make that out of steel just to be safe. Looking at this, that still did not exactly work the way I thought it was going to. I think we need another bridge then to force this to go around. Here we go. See what this does. I think I'm going to enable this transformer. I'm going to do a couple things. I think we'll actually connect this guy here, but we'll disconnect way up here this. We can actually get all this lead back. Ooh, and there we go. But what I might do... So I've got these lights being installed, so when the dupes are emptying this machine, they'll be able to actually see what they're doing. Figure might as well connect that to the heavy wire line, but over here, connect this to a conductive line. Just like that. Hold on, I'm thinking when when this vacuum is created, I'm going to move this wall over. And it looks like it shouldn't be too long until we get to that point. I want to give this system a test. Let's just say if this is above 15, we can run. Do the same thing over here. How much? I think it's 10 kilograms, so 15 would be good value. Alright, let's see. I've got this going around. Once there's too much liquid, then this is going to become backed up like this, but continue to go round and round until this guy's eventually warm enough. The only thing is, it probably slightly makes more sense now having this just before this instead. So maybe we'll make that one last change before we seal this all up. This side of things is working as expected. I'm just going to disconnect it because there's no point in doing this until we actually have everything sealed. forget, how about we put in that notification system if water ever gets low. Do that right here. A bit of an automation wire to get my attention just in case this, we'll say, is below 900 or even 999. Well, maybe we'll let it get filled up first. So, am I ready to actually create some tiles there and seal this off? Let's check the piping. So this is going to be brine in the future, cool brine, taking in some temperature and ultimately making its way up here. Never did get that. How about we just take that out of the pipes? But yeah, I think we are. Let's give the command then. Fill that in. Okay, so we've got an airflow tile all the way around this, so we can give the orders now. Oh yeah, that was just a snap pipe. To start pushing in as much liquid as we can. Seal this off over here. So this guy here is, we've got to make sure we've never have it in contact with brine. This should be pretty easy because we're going to seal this off. We're just waiting for vacuum to form all the way around here. I think the last part of this setup is just to make sure these machineries stay nice and cool. So let's put some lead conductive pipes. Try a single piece to see how we make it with that. Now I'm going to make this line go clockwise. So we'll go put in this like this and liquid bridges that jump over like this and this. Now this is an anti-clockwise section, so I've got to kind of invert it around somehow. So we're going to go up from this point on. You'll get this to jump over here on the end. Actually, no, hold on. Get this one to do the jump, and we'll insulate underneath it. Like that. So that's going to jump up this way. Let's disconnect this for now. So that's going to go up here into the cooling system and then back out. So we'll want to disconnect this. Get this to jump over this. And we can go around all these tiles to make sure they stay nice and cool. And I think that should do. At some point, I might want to push in more water. I could easily tap into this line. But just before I seal this off, I'm just going to put some pipes here and here. Just in case if I want to do that in the future. Actually, this is not probably an area I'm going to... Well, I will want to make sure if actually that vacuum is maintained, so yeah, probably will be sealed off. Looks like we have discovered a salty asteroid field. Can I find out what these two objects are before we go home, hopefully? Let's see how much... 9, Oh, well, we may have to come back here later, because my fear is if I get here, I might not make it home. So even though it shows I can't get home, as long as I can get here, I can use gravity to fall down. Alright, well, I'll be back here in a future mission to find out what these two guys are. We are getting really close. Under 5 milligrams, it looks like. Getting really close to that vacuum where I can get rid of this pump. And then move this wall over by 1. It's not urgent, but I wouldn't mind draining this sea. If I'm going to have an infinite storage of water here, there really is no point having excess water. But we've got a little bit of polluted water. We've got salt and brine, so before I push it in to this guy, let's deal with that. What I'll do is create a little section. This will be temporary. I say temporary, at least until the ocean has been dried up. But we'll want to put it through two machines. One to deal with any potential polluted water, another one to deal with brine. We'll make it a pretty simple system where we take in water, make sure it's treated for those two things, and have it go out. And visit this guy. Not sure there's a point in insulating there, but whatever. Probably want to mop up that liquid phosphorus, get that out of here. While I was constructing all of this, I noticed my ethanol cooling line up here is not flowing. That's because the output line over here is just sending in too much to overflow this whole thing. So let me figure out a solution. I think I have an idea what to do. Let's start off by getting rid of this. And we're going to have another insulated pipe go up like that. Let's do a disconnection here and here. Hold on, what, oh, I made this out of ceramic. We'll keep ceramic the plan then. So we'll make that insulated ceramic. That's going to go up like that then. Still going to get rid of this. We're going to put a bridge like that. Going to get this to go into there and then out like that. We'll see what this does. Just make sure that the dupes can access in here. So these machines need some power. Let's put bridge right there. We'll bring the heavy wire line all the way over. Extra piece. Alright, let's get this connected and go to see where we are over here. The piece needs to be constructed. Oh, unreachable bridge. Okay, I need to temporarily take that out, looks like. Okay, so maybe this will be better. My thinking is I don't mind if things get stalled here, but this just needs a little bit of extra slack. So just to finish it off, hopefully this is going to be good. We'll put in a tile there and there. In fact, it's easy to test to turn this off and on. So right now, this machine is off. It's functioning fine. If I were to bring that down, of course, I've got to be careful. I don't want to, you know what, let's not. That's running through this zone. I've got radiant pipes right here because it is it's got some warm areas over here I've got to contend with. Eventually I'm going to be visiting this whole area. Let's make sure we're just okay over here. Okay, looks like that. No, not quite. Huh. If I give this enough time, maybe we'll get a vacuum over here. I mean, I'm kind of wishing I had to put that vacuum temporarily right there. The issue is I probably shouldn't have started to fill this with water because that gas could have leaked multiple tiles. Now it has to go all this way around. what I could do... Let's stop putting water in for the moment. I could get back in there. Make sure not to take this bottom one out. I could fill these tiles in and then change them out for airflow tiles after the fact. So maybe that's exactly what I'll do. Come on. Make a vacuum, make a vacuum. Sometimes it'll just naturally create a vacuum itself, though. Okay. All right. We'll let that go on. Let's make a path all the way around to visit each one of these guys. Let's see. This is going in clockwise fashion, so we'll go up and around. Making sure not to go into the tiles. Otherwise, we're going to be destroying some of our plants that we worked so hard to get planted by Pips. The other thing, actually, I see water going up here. Now, long term, this area will be cold, and we'll want to keep it that way. This area over here may not be, and is not essential to be, so we should probably change that pipe. It's cold right now, so we'll insulate it for the moment. But let's change our water line so that it doesn't... Oh, you know what? I can just reuse this. That would be easy enough. So that's where water will go up in the future, or very shortly even. Maybe I'll even get it to connect to the actual official line. So from this point on, I don't care if we just use a regular pipe, because it's nowhere near freezing. Oh, that's not quite true. Maybe we'll insulate from here on up. So we've achieved this vacuum, so let's take these out and then put in some airflow tiles all the way down. Now taking this pump out so I can move this wall over finally. That last airflow tile right up here. Fill in some granite tiles in between each of these guys. So we'll be able to really make sure this area stays nice and cool once we have some radiant pipes, or maybe even just regular pipes going through. Looks like most of that is already in place. So now I'll just get the granite pipes to go through the whole thing. Again, making sure we don't knock out any of these very useful plants. I'm going to put these two tiles back. Hopefully we have everything in place now. We have a vacuum anyways. So we're having this sealed up. I'm going to reconnect this pipe here to continue on. Bring that in. And I'm going to now disconnect this pump down here. Let that drain out and we'll get rid of that pipe altogether. Now, I've been storing a lot of my water up here for the longest time, so I'm not going to be worried about disconnecting that pump as long as we do a reconnect. But once this is completely drained out, we can start to take down our water processing plant that's up here, which will be nice. Let's just check to see that we've got water being dropped off here. That looks good. Going out. Do I actually have that going anywhere. I'm gonna be careful. Oh, that's just making its way to this T. Take that out. We'll figure out what to do with that later. But that's good to see that that portion of it's working at least. We've got this dirt continuing to flow around. Excellent. Things are starting to come together. Liking this. Liking this. Gonna give the connection over here. Start to get some water to go through, or brine and all that to go through here. And we'll actually start to consume that first for that little area. Actually, hold on. Probably going to get more liquid from here than here. Maybe it actually makes a little bit more sense in reality to connect this up with this instead, and we'll just do a disconnect. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Never mind. Oh, no, 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 no. Because, yeah, I don't want to do that because that's not processing anything. Right, that's right. Let's disconnect this guy. In fact, let's just avoid any potential problems. We'll get rid of all these pumps. But my thinking is I can have water dumped out here. Am I going to have a problem with this? I think we'll be okay. I'll have this set up like that, like that, like that. Reason being is I don't want to see hot water make its way up here at any point, because that would be making all this machinery hot. I think we might just need a little ladder sitting over there. Okay, let's take down this old pipe. Connect that, disconnect that. Oh, that's right. I still have to figure out what to do with the polluted water that comes from, I guess, these carbon skimmers in the bathroom. But let's get this full line connecting this whole Sleet Wheat area, running around with cold ethanol first. So what I want to do is have a top-up area. Ethanol, maybe we'll put that right there. Have this going up like that, this going down. Do a disconnect right here. Then we need to decide how this is going to go round. So this is actually going to start to go up instead. So we've got our direction. We're going to go up here, cross this, go down here, top up with ethanol if we need it, and let's go across here, down into here, just like that. I think that should work. I don't know if I've got enough ethanol. Oh, no, it does not look like I do have enough ethanol. I guess I'm wishing I had created some more back. I think that'll be okay, though, because it'll be enough to keep it cool. Though the only thing is I was using this ethanol to make sure these guys stay happy, so maybe we should not take all of it away. Disconnect this little area now. If I find this is not enough, I can always generate more ethanol in the future. Let's see, once this guy becomes active again, it's going to be spilling brine on both sides, so let's make sure we get a tile right there. So now I should see water being brought in from both sides. guess technically I'm expecting I think we're okay with just one of these guys because there's only a limited number of polluted water, but actually probably makes sense building the second one of these guys. And then feeding that like this, and combining that like that. And making sure that that new machine has some power, of course. So our ethanol loop is running. Let's gonna go visit each of these guys. Oh, I forgot. Let's do a little change here. Do 2 cuts, one here and one there. Take those out. And then we've got, yeah, so these machines will produce a little bit of heat, but now that we've got this ethanol line, I'm not so concerned. So long term, I think we are good with keeping our sleet wheat nice and cool. So that is a critical piece to our food supply. Let's have a look with our water system. That's right, I forgot about, so I shouldn't be getting brine anymore in this line. The only thing I'm going to get is polluted water. But I might want to have a separate line. Well, yeah, I definitely will want to have a separate line to treat that. But we can at least get rid of these guys. And then what I'll do, just have a direct connection to bypass each of these. Do a disconnection right there. Actually, hold on. Yeah, that'll work. So, yeah, we're still treating the polluted water and having that sent into there. So, the most of the carbon skimmers are located right here. The washroom is located here. Now, if the plants can consume that up here, they are. But any excess is being dropped down, sent down here. So I'm thinking maybe this would be an ideal place to put in the water sieves. And when this was built, it was actually not aligned to the right location. So maybe we'll take this time to actually make that the correct location for this floor. What do we got? Oh, we got wall. And then I'll put in, I'm thinking 2 water sieves should be enough for this area. So I think I have discovered a flaw with putting these guys here. If this ever becomes backed up, there's too much polluted water, I don't have anywhere to go. I need to send that water somewhere. So I could send that into my water line, but if that ever becomes backed up, that would back up my carbon skimmers and washrooms and all that. So what I think I'm going to do is we'll take a line going down. This is going to be the polluted water line. We'll visit the water water sieve down here. We want this to go in at priority. So we're going to jump over. That's our water line. I'm going to actually change this so that this goes like this. We're going to have that water go in like this. This will go in like that. We'll do a disconnect right there. What was... Oh, this is the ethanol line. I guess that's no longer needed, so we can take that bridge out. We want to change that. What is the it's got to be cold temperatures, right? Yeah, let's make that an insulated pipe. Even though it's polluted water, though, it won't be as likely to freeze. Alright, a little bit of ethanol there. And ethanol going through that setup. Let's see if we can go without this carbon skimmer here. Mostly put that in when I was generating ethanol in this area. Probably don't need 3 of these guys either. Maybe we'll see if we can get away with 2. Again, I was just putting that in when I was generating ethanol. Oh, yeah, let's just leave it. I might get back and generating that ethanol another time. Okay, so I'm going to want to take all the polluted water and send that down. So we'll do, maybe we'll just connect that like that. This is polluted water, so we're no longer going to be sending that in that direction. Just to make that clear, I'll tear that whole thing down. The bridge there, switch that over. So underneath here, just to be safe, we're going to make that an insulated pipe. That will make its way down here eventually. So I might not need these desalinators long term once this ocean is dried up, but this might actually be a long-term water sieve sitting right there. So let's provide some light at least. Change the path of this heavy watt wire. Once that goes in, I'll take these ones down over here. So this was the old heating chamber, just in case I took brine up here that was too cold. This area was designed to heat everything up. This can now be taken down. All that radiant pipe can be converted back. I think that might have even been some steel, maybe. No, that was lead, never mind. But nonetheless, we'll get that lead back. While we're waiting for this piping to go in, I see some polluted waters being backed up. As long as the washroom itself is not backed up, not too concerned, and yeah, that's feeding these guys at priority anyway, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. And I can't see carbon dioxide being an issue as well, because it's not going to take too long to build that pipe. Though I was thinking to myself, why don't we build an ethanol distillery? I'm not going to be in a hurry like last time to get this constructed. We'll put that right there. We'll just put in one. And we'll just aim at topping up the ethanol. We need it in our 2 lines down here. Insulate that. Have that going down. Definitely want to make sure we're taking care of the polluted water out of these guys before this runs. Thinking myself. While we've got that running, make that airflow tiles. Because if a hospital is ever needed, they could be an environment no one can breathe in. Okay, so we've got that going down. The goal for this is essentially just to get over and visit this guy. Make sure that line stays nice and topped up. And same thing here. Maybe we'll just do regular pipe for this little section. Jumping over that. I guess we need some power. Wonder if we want, how much power does that, 240? Yeah, we should be able to use then. Since we're not close to heavy watt wire line, just this. So we're getting some pretty warm temperatures within here. Just double checking I made that out of gold amalgam, otherwise we're going to have to get back in there, but we're looking good. As long as this guy keeps up with the water, which it really should, because it's got infinite store over here, this vacuum should be maintained. When is this going to become active? 18 cycles, so I guess we'll have to wait for that to fully test that out, but I think that's going to be fine. We're still waiting for that polluted water line to get through. Maybe we'll make that the priority. I think that's more important than ethanol. Certainly wants to get that, done so that we can make sure carbon dioxide is taken care of once this machine is on. So we are no longer sending water or polluted water over to these guys. And this guy here is no longer receiving any new water in. So we can actually disconnect this whole setup, which is really nice. This is the old water processing plant being taken down. That's going to make room for a number of things. Could be bedrooms, could be recreational rooms. Who knows? We'll have to wait to decide what that's going to be. So glass forge. We're going to definitely be bringing that down to the industrial area instead of having that run right there. Let's drain this water out. Maybe we'll put that towards the sewage line, because technically the sewage line has these desalinators there. I should probably at least keep one of them, just in case. You never know when something gets put in the wrong place in this game. Two tiles down so I can get a pump built in here. Should be concerned about some of this ice melting, flooding these machines. So before that happens, how about we put a mesh tile right there. Checking on these guys. Again, special thanks to Cedric, who mentioned these plants and bees aren't happy at super cold temperatures, so I'm no longer aiming for -90, but I want to get close. Actually, I'm curious what temperature. We're actually at -17 for this hydrogen that's sitting here. Still pumping out this hydrogen. It's getting a little bit thinner. We're down to 20 kilograms. It was much higher before. That's making its way into this infinite store. Oh my goodness, almost 4,000 kilograms per tile. That is fantastic. Oh, the ethanol distiller is running. So that's going to run until the ethanol becomes backed up in this line. So we'll have a full thing of ethanol for both those lines in time. No rush, so I'm just going to make one ethanol distillery here. Gotta make sure we're dealing with the polluted water. It looks like we are. So that's heading down. Gonna be going into these guys, and then poked over here into storage. Fantastic. And that'll never become backed up because this will always allow this to vent out. Amazing. Okay, yeah, that setup is good. That's just gonna prevent these guys from flooding in the future, which would be annoying to fix. Not impossible, but annoying. I think things are looking good. Okay, yeah, let's put in our pump here. Get rid of this liquid. Connect into power. Then we'll send a pipe. This should just go down to the water processing, polluted water line. What is, oh, that's a line that goes nowhere. So you know what? Let's just go into it then. Making sure we disconnect. Oh my goodness. Didn't we have an old polluted water line that was going... Could get in... I think it might just be easier to go all the way up than try to get through this mess. Okay, let's do that. So we'll go across here. We'll jump up. Actually, we could... What is that line? That's an old line. Guess that's the advantage of destructing things early. You don't get confused and realize you're trying to protect something that doesn't need to be protected. So that will go down here into here and then make its way over there to be treated at the bottom of the base. Okay, I think that is how we want that set up. So speaking of which, I think I might go around, just get rid of some of these random pipes that might cause a bit of confusion in the future. Well, I think this has been a very successful day, bringing down our water system. So I'm going to let this guy drain out. At some point, we're going to be feeding new water up from this new system, which we're actually not doing anything with. But actually, I'm thinking myself, I might want to do that, connect this in earlier than later. Have this drain out of this area priority. But one thing I don't want to have happen is let this run for a long time, not realize that the water is drained. I didn't put any automation there to tell me when something went wrong, so was going to finish for the day, but thinking if I don't do this now, it could hurt if I don't put this in later. What? Oh, right, that's the this water being drained out. So what I might do is wait for that to go out. And then somehow connect this guy over. There, alright, I'll figure that plan out, and then I'll perhaps call it a day. Let's just double check that this is all running the right way. Oh yeah. Let's change this to be above, say, 8 degrees. Then you can run. And I think we put in filter gate. Let's up that to 20 seconds. Taking a little bit of water that is built up in this system. Just going to make sure we push that into here. So here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm just going to have this water line go up and around. So this is the water that's being provided into the base. Technically, I could just do this, couldn't I? Because we're not consuming any water from there. Yeah, that should work. Connect that, connect that. I just think it's important to do this before I forget about it. Connect that. Okay, get rid of these little pipes on the side. Oh, not the bridge. Let's keep that. Actually, technically, what is... Oh, that... Oh, yeah. Let's keep the bridge. I was expecting my rocket to land, and I forgot we couldn't actually arrive at the asteroid, but we're orbiting. So let's bring... Oh. I mean, might as well send some rovers down before we do this, right? Deploy 1. Deploy 2. And then we can land and start charging this rocket up for another mission. Start exploring the stars. Checking on this rover, and I thought for sure he's dead. He's in a shutdown phase, but yet we're still, for some reason, able to do things. Okay, well, this doesn't seem right at all, but certainly take advantage of it. Let's continue going. Yeah, we're going to literally make it to the bottom. Might even be able to get over here as long as we've got some ice. Looks like that path is easily done. Has the same thing happened? I had a rover over here. Do some tasks and see if anyone goes... Oh yeah, that one is too. Going to die. Going to die, but maybe it's... If a dupe is not on this world, the game is in such a state that this guy runs forever. That's interesting. Okay. Don't really have anything that useful to do, but I guess I'll just keep digging. So now we're officially providing water from our new water processing plant. Having that dropped off. Let's follow it through all the way up to here. It's not being consumed because we're consuming our old water first. Let that go down. And then from this point on, as well as, I guess, technically up here, this goes to the washrooms, to electrolyzers, and then various other things around the base, such as our supercomputer. Let me just remove this old line. So still lots to do. First of all, we want to drain this out. That's probably going to take a good amount of time. Get that little bit of area back. This guy here, Rock Crusher, definitely makes sense to move down closer to there. So that's something we'll do. I'm thinking of tearing this system down, but we're going to put another aqua tuner in before we do that. That's going to give me this floor back, which I can use for recreational rooms and that. And speaking of recreational rooms, that's definitely something that we could do, but I'm going to say that's a good accomplishment for the day. We'll see how this runs long term, and hopefully I will see you in another episode where we continue on building this space out. Thanks so much for watching. See you then.